Hi everybody. What I've got here is a really nice car. They only produced about 3,000 of them. It's Ford Taunus coupe, and this one has got a 2.8 liter V6 engine. It's not my build, a friend of mine built it and I'm just finishing it up, and he would really like to have a front splitter on, like the one that Mustangs and Camaros had in the 70s or 80s. So we're going to build one from aluminium, how I call it. I'm going to show you how. Now the easiest way to make this splitter is by making a simple buck out of MDF or some type of wood. And to help us get the contours right, I'm going to use this tool. I'm going to show it to you. It's real nice, and you can transfer any shape you want from the car. Now, as you're going to see in the clip, I've carefully measured every 20 centimeters and transferred the contour from that to the wood. Now I'm going to cut it out. Alright, so this is half of the body block that we need. If we've been careful enough, this should fit perfectly on the car. There we go. Doesn't even have a millimeter of gap. I consider this a perfect fit. Now we need to copy this to another board, so we'll have both sides of the body block. Alright, so we're at the design part of this buck. Now's the time to make the exterior design, the outer lip of the splitter. Imagination's the limit with this one, but I suggest keeping the lines simple and clean. And one of the things that is really useful is when you're trying to do longer curves, just use a thick welding wire. Just bend it in the shape that you like, because it gives really nice smooth curve. and then just trace it. One more thing, when tracing the contours of the car, never trace half of the car and then transfer this to the other side, because I've never seen a car that would be perfectly symmetrical. This will only cause you trouble. But on the other hand, with the outer edge of our splitter, you can easily do half and then just transfer this half to the other side. Alright, so this is a finished bug. Note that the upper part, the other side of the bug, doesn't need to be as precise as the bottom part, because the bottom part is the one that's going to give the shape to the aluminum. Now that we have both parts made, it's time to get shaping. The material that I'm using is not soft, it's half hard as we call it. I think it's 1021 or something, 1025 aluminum. It shapes nicely, it keeps shape, and it's fun to work with. Of course, the easiest thing would be to use a plasma cutter, but I prefer scissors, and it also gives me a chance to work on my forearms a little bit. You have to be very precise at this step, because it's critical that you get the bottom and the top part of the bug aligned. And this is not easy, because there's going to be a bigger piece of aluminum between them. So take measurements on some different points and make sure they're realigned before you clamp them down. Believe it or not, the hard part was all that we've done up until now. And the only thing left to do is to hammer the edges out. Alright, so we've taken our piece out of the back and this is what we have. I'll show it to you. Note that this is still pretty rough, but it shouldn't take me more than an hour to clean all the edges and to smooth it out. And we're probably just gonna sand it afterwards and leave it like that. So one thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll this front edge back, so I get a nicer look and also a stronger edge. Okay, so I rolled the edge and I sanded it down a little bit, trimmed the edges, and if you're planning to paint this, you're pretty much done. If not, it's probably gonna take a couple more hours to get the finish as smooth as possible. We can also try it on now. There we go. Perfect fit. Now, as I'm sanding this, I'm slowly getting higher on the grit of the paper. I started with 120 and now I'm already at 320. The finish is going to be at 400 and then I'm going to go back with 320, but by hand, not with the machine anymore, to get those smooth lines. So after I've sanded with 400 grit on machine, I'm going back to 320, but this time by hand. And the result is a really nice finish. Alright, so the splitter's mounted on the car and as you can see it looks spectacular. I've shown you a way that I think anybody can do at home. We could have done this on a bead roller, all of it, but not everybody has a bead roller at home and even fewer people know how to operate it. So I think this is an easy way to get really nice results. Thanks.